So Mark's going to kick us off. I'm going to put this slide up here a little bit, Mark. Mark and I did talk previously, and Inland Valleys Association of Realtors puts out this publication every month. Mark and his team are responsible for it. So Mark, tell us where we've been, how we got here, and what the heck's going on. You have 7 minutes. Go.
7 minutes, because you took 3 of my minutes. Thank you very much. So good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. I've had the pleasure of being here a number of times at the request of Lance, so thank you. I didn't want to go through a lot of data and stats and analysis, mainly because there are a lot of people here coming after me that are way smarter with more impressive degrees that will be covering all of that. So when I talked to Lance, I said, look, let's just kind of capture what happened, where are we now, and maybe where are we going. But first I have to say what's a great thing about our industry is this. Everybody needs a house to live in. I don't care if you're renting, I don't care if you're buying. It's food, water, and shelter, okay? So baked into the equation is the fact that there is always a demand for shelter and housing, okay? We may work in sales, but we're not selling vacuums and steak knives, okay? We're selling a foundation in people's lives. So regardless of what's going on in the market, there is always a demand and a need for housing. Now, there are factors that play into when that may be a good time for someone to buy or to sell, and we'll talk about that ad nauseum today. But essentially, if you want to kind of talk about what's happened in the last couple of years, fundamentally, obviously, when COVID hit, there was a pause in everything. So we saw about a 3 to 4 month pause where everything kind of was standing still. And then the interest rates dropped, and then everybody went, wait a minute, I need to buy a house, because rates right now are at under 3, 2.5, 2.25, whatever they were. And there was in June, July of 20, we saw the frenzy kick in. And for a 2-year period, 23, 22, 24 months, whatever it is, 2 years, we saw the market on fire. What did we see? We saw median sales price in our region go from basically $410,000 to $610,000, a 50% increase in 2 years. Everybody was getting in on it, okay? But there was challenges. And if you think back even as little as a year ago, if you were working with a buyer, your frustration of trying to get an offer looked at, let alone accepted at a price that was at the asking price. It was crazy just a year ago. And on the selling side, there was people just jumping into the market, trying to get as much money as they can, and it was hot. But there was caution, because everybody knew that a 25% year-over-year increase in median sales price was not going to last forever. So what happened? Well, there were 3 things that kind of came together at the same time last year in March, April, May, and June that kind of tipped everything in a different direction. One was the overinflated market. There was always that underlying factor that people were saying, how long is this going to last? Is this a bubble? So there was a caution on that side. Secondarily, there was inflation that we had not seen in 40 years in this country. Whether it was 7, 8, 9%, whatever it was real. We saw it, we felt it every day, whether it was the gas pump, buying groceries, what have you. But that was a factor, okay? That was in the back of people's minds as well on a day-to-day basis. The third issue was interest rates began to not just go up incrementally, but they went up substantially. And all those things came together, and all of a sudden, if you look at April, May, and June of last year, the market came to a huge pause. They pumped the brakes. And everybody said, wait a minute, what's going on? The fact is, people buy and sell when there's a level of certainty, okay? We invest based on certainty. Uncertainty causes a delay. It causes a pause. We're consumers, that's what we do. I mean, we're not crazy. We use our head when we're making those types of investments. So, where are we now? Well, we're kind of still in that holding pattern where people are curious as to what's going on. There's an adjustment period. If people are waiting for 2.5% interest rates, it's not going to happen. That's not coming back anytime soon, probably never in our lifetime, okay? People are adjusting. The economy is a strange economy. There's a number of economists talking later today. They'll probably go into great detail on that. But we're seeing huge unemployment, very low, but there's still an uncertainty as to where we're going with the market. And then obviously home values are dipping, not collapsing, but they're dipping. And we've seen them come down to about 10% in the last year. Probably not a bad thing. So where are we going? Well, if you get back to my first comment, which is everybody still wants a house. That's not really a debatable issue. And if you even look at renters, over 90% of them agree it's better to own than to rent. So the question is, what's going to take people to get more motivated and get inclined to buy or to sell? And that's going to be more certainty and adjusting mentally to the concept that 2.5% interest rates aren't going to happen, 25% year-over-year median sales price is not going to happen every single year, and there's going to be a normalcy that people will adapt and adopt to, and we'll see some balance back in the market. This is not going to be an easy year. I suspect that 2024 is going to be better as things get more acclimated and balanced, but right now, it's a little dicey as people are adjusting.
A little dicey.
A little dicey.
I love it.
Yeah.
So again, for those, I've got just a couple quick questions for Mark. Mark, we are bringing Mark back out. So he's going to finish off our panel, so we'll have a little more opportunity to put some more analysis on this, and then Mark can give you his interpretation of what he saw in the prior 3 hours. So Mark will be back out here in a little bit. But a couple quick questions. He summarized, and I more or less agree with pretty much everything that Mark was saying. But Mark, again, he is the CEO of the Inland Association of Realtors. He is an industry guy, all right? What's the membership right now of realtors at IVAR approximately?
4,000, a little over 4,000.
4,000 realtors in our market. We can have a different debate on how many are doing business, et cetera, et cetera. What's IVAR's budget for 2023 as far as membership count? Up, down, flat, or?
So we track membership not only of our association, but pretty much all the associations in the region and the top ones in California. They're all down. They're down anywhere from 2%. A couple of them are in the 7 to 8% range, but membership across California is down from a realtor standpoint.
Okay, so That being said, we're going to revisit this topic. Transactions last year were down anywhere from 20 to 40%, depending upon what market you're in, and we're budgeting for approximately 1 to 2% fewer agents in 2023. So you simmer on that here for a little bit, and we're going to come back to that topic in a minute. Mark, thank you. We will see you back again here.